It's a company that operates in 150 different countries, selling everything from beauty products to hair care. But on this episode of Marketing Media Money, we find out there's a lot more to L'Oreal than just the L'Oreal brand. Welcome to the French headquarters of L'Oreal, a business that in 2018 generated revenues of $30 billion. It's a company obsessed with the opportunities that going digital brings. In a moment, I catch up with the woman driving that digital transformation across the business, including marketing, Lubomira Rochet. But first, James Wright takes a look at the brands that make L'Oreal a beauty behemoth.
There's more to L'Oreal than meets the eye. It's a vast brand in its own right, covering skincare, hair care and beauty, which you might think was how the business was split into divisions, but that's wrong. The brand that tells you you're worth it is the key name in the professional products and consumer products categories. L'Oréal Professionnel is sold through hair salons, much like US hair care brand Redken and French brands Kérastase, along with science and nature-based skincare brand Decléor that's sold through spas. The consumer products division is full of names you'll see in your supermarket. Along with the mother brand L'Oréal, there's another heritage brand, Garnier, that began life in 1904 with an anti-dandruff, anti-hair loss shampoo. Alongside the hair and care brands, there are major makeup brands, NYX and one other with a famous tagline. They're joined by nail beauty brand Essie and Neely. But there are a whole load of other brand names that you may not know are part of the L'Oréal empire. The Luxe division, as it's known, brings boutique care brands together like Kiehl's, Biotherm and Lancôme, along with designer fragrance brands from famous names such as Yves Saint Laurent, Ralph Lauren and Giorgio Armani. Finishing off the L'Oréal family are active cosmetics brands such as Vichy and US brand Skin Cuticles. 4 divisions, 5 beauty categories, 7 different routes to market, and a big family of brands. It's a vast multi-billion-dollar empire, so no wonder L'Oréal is
worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Lubomira Rochet, welcome to Marketing Media Money. Now, normally we would be sitting here speaking to the Chief Marketing Officer, but you're the Chief Digital Officer here at L'Oréal. How is marketing set up at L'Oréal?
I'm reporting directly into the CEO. I'm sitting at the executive committee level, and the regional and divisional marketing officers report directly into me. So my role has been since the beginning, 5.5 years ago, to drive and orchestrate the digital transformation of the company, and I'm supervising 2,500 people sitting in the countries, zones, division and brands, and it's across a variety of dimensions. First is e-commerce acceleration, second is media and digital marketing, third is around services and open innovation, digital technologies, and also a very important piece, which is the HR transformation and the digitalization of the whole talent and organization.
Let's talk a little bit about how you go to market. What's your retail strategy and how is it changing in light of this move to online? What
is true across the board is that e-commerce has really dramatically changed the game. Today our e-commerce is growing at 48%. It's growing 8 times faster than the offline market, and it already represents 13.2% of our business.
Now, as a consumer brand, you do a ton of advertising. What's the mix?
So today, the mix is 49% of digital media, so it's almost 50-50. It vastly varies between countries. The thing is, we never said, like, from the top, you should be investing XYZ into digital. It's really based on consumer centricity. So it's really based on local media consumption patterns. And basically, it depends by country, it depends by category. Makeup is traditionally more digital than, hair care. Brazil is more TV than, Southeast Asia. So it's really a mix, and it's a bottom-up type of phenomenon.
Now, many have predicted that traditional advertising or interruptive advertising is on its way out. What do you think?
I think the 2 biggest things is really about trust and attention. In a world like, fake news, infobesity, trust issues, and I think our role as marketers is really to recreate trust and attention. And I think it will come from a different way of approaching advertising. I've seen more and more like what I could call even activist advertising, where you're really fighting for a cause, but at the same time also embracing content, memorable experiences and services. So this is really what our new marketing is about at L'Oréal.
And how is L'Oréal playing into that?
All our selective divisions have a very important key figure, which is the professional. So think of, salon, so hairdressers. Think of dermatologists, think of beauty assistants in our luxury business. So those guys are really out there in the field, really having this very close relationship with our consumer, advising them, counseling them. And what is interesting is that we can recreate that type of relationship through digital, tools and means. So this is where our services strategy plays out.
Now, you've had some highly memorable taglines as L'Oréal. You're worth it, of course, comes to mind. And they're tied to some notable celebrities. How important are those to L'Oréal?
The whole role of prescription is changing. So prescription was a lot about, advertising, and it was 100% controlled by brands. It was your message, it was your narrative, it was your USP. And so today what we typically see is that the decision to buy in our industry is really influenced by 1/3 paid media, advertising, offline and online, 1/3 about owned media, so all the content we're gonna create around our categories, and also earned media, which is obviously influencer and advocacy. So this tends to be super important in our mix.
Still to come on Marketing.Media.Money, data and transparency at L'Oréal.
We believe that people will be willing to give their data if we provide an actual service for them.
And I'm in Toronto to find out why L'Oréal bought a company that's at the cutting edge of AI and AR. As L'Oréal becomes more digitally focused, that focus isn't just on product. In early 2018, L'Oréal bought Toronto-based Modiface, a company specialising in artificial intelligence and augmented reality.
We had this website where you could change your lips with a celebrity. You could have different lips or different eyes for fun. And my co-founder had the idea, well, what if we let them have a facelift? So there was a facelift button that you could apply on your image. And that got the attention of a marketing manager at the company that makes Botox. And so our first simulation, when we were started, was for simulating skincare products. And eventually from there we moved to makeup and hair.
It began by allowing people to upload pictures and eventually video to allow users to find out which colours and products worked for them. It was all about being realistic.
What we do, I would say better than anyone else, is simulating real products. So our goal isn't to airbrush a photo to the maximum effect. It is to, if this is a foundation or a lipstick or a hair color, we just want to match that precise shade and effect.
And it wasn't long before L'Oréal noticed what they were up to.
L'Oréal had started to look into augmented reality, and they had seen the results. They'd seen that it's engaging. As the technology got better, and as we had more deployments, it became clear that it actually had an impact on conversions. We've seen a 3 times increase in sales, which is substantial. And the last factor was that this is something that every retailer and tech companies were interested in. This is a capability. Filters, photo filters are becoming very popular. And L'Oréal was one of the first companies to realize the impact of this technology. And so now the question is not, is it effective? The question is, how quickly can we deploy it and scale it globally?
It's not just about having an app online, it's about an in-store experience too. It's why the technology has been made open source to retail and channel partners.
We partner with Macy's, with tech companies like WeChat and Facebook, with Amazon. And so the retailer aspect of what we do is very important as well. It allows L'Oréal retail partners to also use our technology and provide a beneficial service to their users. But we're constantly looking at what is the next stream, or what is the next platform. So we found, for example, in China, messaging is a major avenue by which people find and buy products. So we partnered with WeChat to provide our capability directly in WeChat to customers for L'Oréal brands. So streams will change, but our technology will adapt over time.
This sort of technology has been around for a while. It allows an image to be changed in real time, but why is it useful for marketers?
The most effective ads are actually not ads, they're services. So when someone comes on a L'Oréal website and instead of telling them, just this, here's a lipstick, and for everyone, same product. Letting them play with different colors and then recommending what might be best for them or what options might match the lipstick that they have added to the basket. That is really the most effective.
Integrating this type of virtual try-on technology for brands and for the consumers, really it's helping that whole omni-channel experience become 360. So whether you're being present on a website, it's on a mobile app, you're in store, any touch point for a consumer, this is going to be present there, and it's just helping to tie everything with a neat little bow. So you go in, you explore the products, you can try them on, you feel like you've gotten a personalized experience, you're happy with the results, and then you purchase the products and you leave.
Augmented reality is maturing rapidly, so what's next for this kind of technology?
I think the future is voice. It's slowly starting to creep into the industry, but I think in the next 5-10 years, you're going to see it everywhere. The way that it works with L'Oreal and the ModaFace technology, it's a perfect way to have a conversation with a consumer or with a beauty advisor, but you're doing it with the virtual try-on application to be able to ask something quickly. I need to see any blue eyeshadows you have, or show me the red matte lipstick. It's just another natural way of exploring. You're looking in a mirror, and then you can have a conversation, you can visually see. So it's touching all of the senses, really.
From understanding someone's skin and being able to recommend what products might be just best for them, that personalization, which our technology enables, I think is the future of marketing in many industries, but especially in beauty.
L'Oreal has made a number of acquisitions, for example, ModaFace. What's your involvement in these as the Chief Digital Officer?
ModaFace is a great story. ModaFace used to be a long-standing partner of ours. We've worked with them for 7 years, and suddenly we really realized that augmented reality was becoming a key thing, not just a trend, but a key thing in the way people and consumers were discovering our brands, were obviously experimenting our brands and also buying our brands. And so we thought that it would be building a key competitive advantage by insourcing that expertise and that talent. We have created a fantastic bridge between ModaFace and L'Oreal brands, and today ModaFace is being rolled out across all our brands and across all our websites, our apps, our point of sales, and it's been a great story so far.
Now, as you get into all these new technologies, you're using more and more people's personal information, their data. So how do you think about ethics when it comes to data and protecting your consumers' privacy?
What we want to do is moving from a precision marketing to a permission marketing. And this is why we are also investing into those services, because we believe that people will be willing to give their data if we provide an actual service for them. And this is why makeup try-on, skin diagnostic, live chat with BAs is something that is important for us, because it will change the way we relate to our consumers, and it will be a permission-based marketing.
Let's talk about new markets. China has been a huge growth engine for L'Oreal, and it has been driven in large part by your digital efforts there. Why has China been a key focus for you?
The Chinese market is, I think, the most digitalized in the world. I think that the usage we see, the habits, the consumption patterns out there are really phenomenal. Like 90% of every sale is done on mobile, and people, there's no difference between online and offline. It's a continuum of experiences, and obviously it's a great laboratory for us, China, in order to be able to take those best practices and spread them in other countries. But today, e-commerce is 40% of our total sales. It was 2% like 7 years ago. So the magnitude of the change has been tremendous.
Now, going digital has made it easier for smaller indie brands to get up and running. So how do you ensure that you are not only embracing digital yourselves, but also ensuring that you don't have your sales eaten away by these independent makers of skincare and makeup?
Digital, if you manage it well, what it can do, it can really scale your big brands, and big gets bigger. If you look at our results last year, 2018, we outperformed the growth of the market, 5.5 for the market, 7.1 for us. But what is interesting is that it disproportionately benefited our biggest billionaire brands. So it's interesting because at the same time it allowed new brands to come into the market, but it also allowed bigger brands to get even bigger.
So what does the future of cosmetics, hair care, skin care look like in terms of your marketing and digital strategy?
We believe that technology and new technologies will play a growing role into the way people discover our products and buy our products. We are absolutely looking into personalization. We believe that personalization is a big trend in the industry. We've had a couple of initiatives around that. I can quote, like, for example, Lancôme, who did a great job with an initiative called Le Teint Particulier. So we are really investing in services on one hand, technology powered, and also on personalization on the other hand.
Marketers obsess over personalising messages for standardised products, but technology is allowing L'Oréal brand Lancôme to create personalised products and right in store. Lancôme already have 45 different shades of foundation, but for a truly personalised product and service experience, that's just not enough. Le Teint Particulier creates a personalised foundation as the end product, but it begins with a personal service.
We do very special customer service in here. We do sit down and we do like consultation, the face-to-face, asking about what they're looking for, what's their skin texture, and then what they like about finishing.
After scanning the skin, the app comes up with a custom-made foundation made of red, yellow, white and dark pigments, plus a moisturiser and thinner. It allows for thousands of unique combinations. After making half the bottle, the product can be tested and tweaked before creating the final version, with a special code so the customer can repeat purchase with ease. But it's a premium product and experience with a premium price, costing nearly 3 times that of a regular Lancôme foundation. It's all about making the client feel special.
With service, with finishing, everything. We do like a mini makeup after finish, and then people leaving here very happy with the foundation.
Oh, thank you so much. You've talked about personalization and the trend toward personalization. What impact will this have on your main lines? Will it make them redundant in any way?
I think today we have 2 different strategies around that. We have one strategy which is to incorporate personalization into our existing range. So this is what we have done with Lancôme, Le Teint Particulier example, or Custom Dose, which is another example of personalization for skincare for a brand called SkinCeuticals. And we are also building entirely new brands on this concept of personalization. So recently launched in the US Color & Co., which is our first personalized hair color D2C brand, and we're very excited about that.
Still ahead, the rise of online content and why L'Oréal produces so much of it.
We get a great diverse bank of creative that we can actually start to look at and test and see what's working and what's not working.
In this digital age, advertising and branded content can turn up anywhere and in any shape or format, all vying for consumers' eyes and attention. L'Oréal turned to Vidsy for help with their digital marketing.
L'Oréal does amazing campaigns. They have some amazing content, product shots, working with influencers, lots of different creative. One of the challenges is that doesn't work specifically when you need to put it on, say, Instagram stories or Facebook in feed. Now, what we were able to do, partnering with L'Oréal, is take all of them different pieces of content and actually use them to tell a story or drive a message that is actually going to work on Instagram stories or work on Facebook. So L'Oréal is really able to take all of them assets and maximize them across all different digital channels and really drive the value of that content.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach for digital campaigns.
One of the key things to actually think about is what is your objective. That's one of the most important components, because if you're creating for brand awareness, it's going to be a very different type of creative than if you're creating content for conversion or consideration. Because when you're driving brand awareness, you want to make sure that you can get that message, you want to make sure that people see that brand. When you're looking at conversion, you're really trying to engage people.
But regardless of the purpose, it's about finding which messages resonate most.
When we're working with Elvive, which is a hair care brand, what they really wanted to understand is what core message was going to relate to their audience. So they had 5 different messages, and so what we did was we created lots of different pieces of creative around these 5 different messages. Then we were able to actually test which messages were relating to the audience. We found out that saving time was the core message that really resonated with the audience. We were producing for different platforms like Instagram stories, Instagram feed. That means we had to have vertical video, square videos. We had to have lots of different types of creative driving that same message. And that really starts to add up to a lot of different creative as you're producing more and more.
In the same way that consumers are everywhere, Vidsy gains creative strength by working with creatives globally.
One of the benefits of having creators all around the world and being able to access these creators instantly is that you have unlimited creativity. We're actually able to work with 10, 15, 20 different creators at the same time. So that means that we can get lots of different creators all producing content around a singular message or objective, which means we get a great diverse bank of creative that we can actually start to look at and test and see what's working and what's not working. Now, being able to do that at such speed and scale, that's where you're getting real value.
L'Oreal may be a big beast in the beauty world, but Vidsy helps the company become a little more nimble.
One of the most important things when you're creating content in digital world is agility. You want to be able to make sure that you can create content quickly. You want to be able to make sure that you can actually launch quickly because things are changing so quickly in digital now. Best practices are changing all the time. So you want to be able to make sure that you can always be engaging with your audience constantly producing new content, testing, learning, evolving all the time.
The storytelling and the narrative of advertising and marketing has changed. We now cannot rely on one hero content, which would be like a 30-second TVC or 15-second TVC. It's a sequence. So each and every time we have a big launch, or any launch in fact, we have launch packs with the 15-second and the 30-second TVC. But we build all those contents around 2 seconds, 6 seconds, animated GIFs, motivational quotes like pictures, videos, tutorial stories, filters, Snapchat filters. So any given launch would feature between 50 and 100 times more content that we used to, and those content tend to be personalized in order to be as relevant and as close to our consumers. This is what we call precision advertising. And so typically we really try to think and understand the consumer decision journey, how it works, and be able to feature our contents at every touch point.
And how does your success compare in using platforms like Facebook to other means of digital advertising?
So today we're using, all tactics, from search to video to social, and we are closely monitoring the ROI of every one of those tactics. And I would say it's a cocktailing. It's a cocktailing business in a way. It depends on the categories. If you take skincare, it's a business where search is very important because you tend to search by ingredients, hyaluronic acid, vitamin C. So search is very important. Content and own content is very important. So we put a lot of money and efforts into building the right content on our websites to make sure that when people are searching for certain ingredients, they find it on our website and they can be inspired by that.
And how do you measure that? How do you measure whether that investment pays off?
So we have built a very unique thing, which was very hard to build, which we call our cockpit. And so this cockpit is in real time, actually, ingesting 50,000 data sources. And so we're able to say at each and every moment of the day how we're positioned into the beauty space in terms of YouTube views, Instagram engagement, and ROI in terms of all the campaigns we have. And thanks to that tool, we know that we have almost 1/3 of the total YouTube branded beauty traffic, and 13% of the total website beauty traffic.
And finally, where do you see your role in 5 years as a chief digital officer and a marketing boss?
Interestingly enough, when I arrived in L'Oréal 5 years ago, I said that if I did my job correctly, I would outjob myself and that digital transformation would have been achieved. And what we realize, all of us, walking around that path, is that digital is a permanent revolution. You have new things coming up every day. You have permission-based marketing, you have social commerce, you have new platforms, and so I think I'll still be there in 5 years.
Lubomira Rochet, Chief Digital Officer from L'Oréal, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's it for this Marketing Media Money. You can find more online at cnbc.com/MMM. Until next time, bye-bye.